Dwarfs, myth, lore, and fantasy. Origins of dwarfs in mythology. Dwarfs, often spelled dwarves in modern fantasy contexts, are legendary creatures found in the mythologies of various cultures, most notably in Norse and Germanic traditions. These beings are typically characterized by their short stature, robust build, and deep connection to the earth and underground realms. In Norse mythology, dwarfs are known as dvergar and are considered skilled craftsmen and miners. They are credited with creating some of the most powerful and magical artifacts in the Norse pantheon, including Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and Odin's spear, Gungnir. The Prose Edda, a 13th century Icelandic text by Snorri Sturluson, provides detailed accounts of these creatures. According to the myths, dwarfs were formed from the blood and bones of the primordial giant Ymir. Much like the other races in Norse cosmology, they were initially maggot-like creatures, living in the flesh of Ymir, but were later given human-like form by the gods. The dwarfs in these myths were not only master smiths, but also had a deep connection to the earth, often living in mountains or underground caverns. Their association with wealth, particularly gold and precious stones, is a recurring theme. The dwarfs' ability to work with metals and craft items of immense power and beauty is central to their identity in these ancient tales. Characteristics and traits. Dwarfs are typically depicted as short, stocky, and immensely strong, with a rugged appearance that matches their lifestyle. They often have long beards, which are a symbol of their wisdom and age, and are usually portrayed as older than they appear. Their clothing and armor are often practical, made from heavy materials like leather and iron, designed to withstand the harsh conditions of their underground homes and the dangers of their work. The personality traits of dwarfs are consistent across various mythologies and fantasy settings. They are often portrayed as stubborn, determined, and fiercely loyal to their kin and clan. Their strong sense of community is reflected in their tightly knit societies, often led by a king or a council of elders. Dwarfs value honor, tradition, and hard work, and they have little patience for laziness or deceit. Dwarfs are also known for their love of ale and feasting, which is another aspect of their cultural identity. These celebrations often take place in grand halls deep within the mountains, where they revel in their accomplishments and the camaraderie of their peers. However, their enjoyment of life's pleasures does not overshadow their serious, sometimes grim demeanor, especially when it comes to their craft or defending their homes. Dwarfs in Germanic mythology. In Germanic mythology, dwarfs share many similarities with their Norse counterparts, but also have distinct attributes. The Germanic dwarfs are often depicted as earth spirits, or beings with supernatural abilities. They are skilled in metalwork, and are believed to have taught humanity the secrets of smithing and crafting. These dwarfs are not just workers of metal, but also guardians of treasure, often hiding vast hoards of gold and gems deep within the earth. One of the most famous tales involving Germanic dwarfs is the Nibelungenlied, an epic poem that tells the story of the hero Siegfried and the cursed treasure of the Nibelungs. The dwarfs in this story are both creators and protectors of the treasure, but their greed and the curse that comes with the hoard lead to tragedy. The association of dwarfs with treasure and the earth is a theme that has permeated many cultures, leading to the modern depiction of dwarfs as beings who are both possessors and protectors of underground wealth. Their knowledge of the earth's secrets makes them both revered and feared in various mythological traditions. Dwarfs in Tolkien's Middle-earth. J.R.R. Tolkien's works, particularly The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, have had a profound impact on the modern fantasy portrayal of dwarfs. Tolkien's dwarfs, inspired by Norse and Germanic mythologies, are a proud and noble race with a deep history and culture. In Tolkien's Legendarium, dwarfs, or dwarves as he preferred to spell them, are one of the free peoples of Middle-earth. They were created by Aule, one of the Valar, who desired to make beings to teach the craft of smithing and stonework. However, because they were created before the elves, Eru Ilúvatar, the supreme deity, decreed that they must sleep until the elves, the firstborn, awoke. The seven fathers of the dwarves were laid to rest in different parts of Middle-earth, where they would eventually awaken and found the seven dwarf clans. Tolkien's dwarves are known for their incredible skill in mining and metalwork, particularly in the crafting of weapons and armor. The most famous of their creations is the chainmail shirt made of mithril, a precious metal that is incredibly light yet stronger than steel. This shirt, given to Frodo Baggins by Bilbo in The Lord of the Rings, becomes a symbol of the dwarves' craftsmanship and the value they place on their work. Dwarves in Tolkien's world are also known for their love of treasure, particularly gold, which sometimes leads to their downfall. The story of Thorin Oakenshield and the quest to reclaim the Lonely Mountain from the dragon Smaug is a prime example of this. The dwarves' desire to reclaim their lost home and treasure drives the narrative of The Hobbit, showcasing their determination, courage, and at times their flaws. Tolkien's dwarves have a complex relationship with other races, particularly the elves. Historical enmity between the two races is a recurring theme, stemming from events such as the dispute over the Naglamir, a necklace made by the dwarves but claimed by the elves. Despite these tensions, individual friendships, such as that between Gimli the dwarf and Legolas the elf, show that cooperation and mutual respect are possible, even between such different peoples. Dwarfs in modern fantasy. The influence of Tolkien's depiction of dwarves is evident in almost every modern fantasy work, from novels to games and films. Dwarfs in these settings often retain the key characteristics established by Tolkien: short, stocky, bearded warriors and craftsmen who live in mountainous or underground cities. In the popular tabletop role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons, D&D, dwarfs are a core race, with their traits and lore heavily influenced by Tolkien. Dwarfs in D&D are known for their toughness, resistance to poison, and skills in stonework and metalwork. They are often depicted as gruff, no-nonsense characters with a deep sense of honor and loyalty to their clans. The lore of dwarfs in D&D is expansive, with different sub-races such as hill dwarves and mountain dwarves, each with its own unique abilities and culture. The cities of the dwarfs are often grand, built into mountains or deep underground, and filled with forges, mines, and halls dedicated to their gods. Video games also frequently feature dwarfs, often as a playable race. In the Warcraft series by Blizzard Entertainment, dwarfs are one of the primary races of the Alliance, known for their engineering prowess and their ability to hold their own in battle. The dwarfs of Warcraft live in Ironforge, a massive underground city, and are known for their stout hearts and love of ale, reflecting the traditional dwarf archetype. In the Elder Scrolls series by Bethesda, dwarfs, known as the Dwemer, are a mysterious and ancient race of elves who disappeared long before the events of the games. The Dwemer are known for their advanced technology and architecture, leaving behind vast underground cities filled with mechanical constructs. The mystery of the Dwemer's disappearance is a recurring theme in the series, adding a layer of intrigue to their lore. The cultural significance of dwarfs. Dwarfs in both myth and fantasy often symbolize the human connection to the earth and the value of hard work. Their association with metalwork and mining represents the human ability to shape the world through skill and determination. In many ways, dwarfs are a reflection of humanity's own qualities: stubbornness, resilience, and a deep connection to community and tradition. In folklore, dwarfs are sometimes seen as both helpful and mischievous, aiding those who respect them and punishing those who do not. This duality reflects the complex nature of these beings, who are not easily categorized as wholly good or evil. Their role as guardians of the Earth's treasures also speaks to the human desire to uncover and protect valuable resources. In modern fantasy, dwarfs often serve as a counterbalance to other races, such as the more ethereal and graceful elves. Their grounded, practical nature contrasts with the elves' more mystical and artistic tendencies, providing a sense of balance in fantasy worlds. This dynamic is evident in works like Tolkien's, where the interplay between dwarfs and elves adds depth and richness to the story. Dwarfs in popular culture. The portrayal of dwarfs in popular culture extends beyond fantasy literature, and games, films, television shows, and even music have embraced the dwarf archetype, often emphasizing their warrior-like qualities, their loyalty to kin, and their love of a good feast. In the film adaptations of Tolkien's works, such as Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings,